This is for puzzle number 3, the Swan. This one's an interesting challenge because when I first look at the head, I think, oh, that's the medium-sized triangle. Except for when you look closer at the bottom right-hand side of that triangle, or what you think might be the triangle. So you're looking at the bottom of the swan's head, and if you cut across, that doesn't quite look like the right shape to be the entire medium-sized triangle. And also, if that were the triangle, then how would we get the neck shape? That part looks very thin compared to, say, if you put a square there, the proportions look wrong. So we can't use the medium triangle there. But we do get an idea for a triangle. Perhaps the small one can go there. I'm going to leave the rest of the neck and the breast front of the swan for a little bit later. I want to deal with where do the two big triangles go. Those are often good to get rid of or to use up first, because once they're done, then everything else kind of fits in. And when I look at the back of the swan, I see this distance and this distance, and the relationship seems to be that for the back of the swan and the part that comes down off the back. So that's what I think is the back of the swan. When I look at the part of the swan below the back, I notice that part of a triangle is sticking out. Now I could do something like this. That would give me part of it. But something about it looks wrong. And this is the part that looks wrong. This looks too long as compared to what you see on the back of the swan. So I don't think it's this way. I think it's this way. And if I put the two pieces together like this, and I match their corners up here, then I get that piece sticking out below, and I get a length that looks right in proportion to the rest of the back. So I have the head, I have the back. Next, I see that the breast comes up at an angle like this, which makes me think that it's either the big triangle. This side looks to be about the right length for coming up from the breast, or it could be the small triangle because those two lengths are the same. See how they match up? And if I put that there, I get the right length. Now, if I put that there, then that would suggest that perhaps the square goes there. But then that puts us back into a problem. We need to be able to make that neck, and this piece is too big to fit anywhere in that neck. The distance, to be able to match the pieces up, the distance across here, the lengths across here, they're just wrong. That tells me that this is a mistake. So I'll pull those out. Now I want this length, which is what I thought I had here. I want this to be shown, and I see what the angle is coming up from the bottom. So that tells me maybe that piece should go there. Here's the head. I still need to place these three pieces. With this piece down below, and noticing how the length coming up off the back doesn't appear to be a full length of even the smallest triangle, the shortest side of the smallest triangle. Something is being overlapped down here so that we get the smaller length. And we see that coming up here from the breast, we see we have a length that is about the same length as this. So that suggests either the parallelogram, the long side of the parallelogram, like this, or the long side of the smallest triangle. If we think it's the parallelogram, then the only pieces that are left are the square and the small triangle. Now that works out pretty well to give us the length that comes out over the back. The problem is we need to be able to fit the square in and have it meet the head, and that piece is missing there. Let's retool this. That's the head. I'm going to use this piece and make sure that the length that matches this is sticking outward. There's that. I know this head is up here. It actually lines up the beak directly over that part of the breast. I need to place the square and the parallelogram. It looks like the square would fit there and have a nice distance coming out. And then my parallelogram needs to come up, and look, the distance of the swan's head, this part, needs to match that length. Or does it? It actually matches that length. How are we going to make that work? Well, there's that part goes straight up to make the thin neck, and then we put the rest of the head there, and we have the solution.